DJI have just dropped a new firmware update for the DJI Pocket 4P with some new features and answers at some of the key annoyances with this camera. So DJI have dropped yet another firmware update for the DJI Pocket 4P. This is version 01017120. So to get this connected, all you need to do is actually turn on your DJI Pocket 4P. Then on your phone, you need to go to the DJI Mimo app. Once you've got both of these turned on, it will automatically detect this new firmware, and then you can start downloading this directly to your Pocket 4P. And you'll see from this list, there's quite a few different things added to this new Pocket 4P. As we saw in the previous update, we've now got enable auto transfer. So say you've been out filming all day, you've got loads of different clips on this camera. All you need to do is turn this off, connect it to power, and it will automatically then upload those files directly to your phone. Now that is good. However, unless you've got a load of storage on your phone, it's going to chew up that storage really fast. So now you don't have to worry about the storage on your phone. Once you've actually got all your clips on here, you turn this camera off, connect it to power, and it will auto transfer these to your home storage device. So it could be Google Drive, OneDrive, or if you have a home NAS device. So I've got the Ugreen NAS device, and in theory, I should be able to then go onto here and it will upload all of them to my home NAS anywhere in the world. Fantastic. Now the NAS device isn't personally working for me. It could just be mine. I might have to just mess around with these settings, but it will find the NAS device, but actually uploading to it, I'm getting this failed message all the time. However, if I then go and select Google Drive, it will automatically upload any files I've captured straight to Google Drive. Now the slow motion on this camera is absolutely fantastic. I've had a blast using this and got some really good clips. Super easy to do. You literally just press that record button and it's going to slow all those clips down for you automatically. You don't have to do anything. And you can record in up to 240 FPS. But previously this was limited to the normal color profile. However, now they've enabled D-Log in the slow motion feature all the way up to 240 FPS again, which is fantastic. So now you can get these really good slow motion shots in that D-Log color profile. You can color grade this, add your own creative looks on it, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. Now a tip for you that you must do is go into that side menu and then actually scroll down to the bottom where it says image adjustments, and you've got texture and noise reduction. Texture is sharpening. By default they're set to 0, I would say set your texture to -2 and noise reduction to -2 as well. Otherwise it just looks far too sharp. And they've also added an auto switch feature between these two lenses in slow motion. So before, when you were filming in 240 FPS, you could only use this 1x lens. If you wanted to use the 3x lens, you would have to go into the frame rate and switch this back down to 200 FPS. So if I now select the 3x button, it's using the tele lens so I can get closer shots, but it's dropped down to 200 FPS automatically. If I now switch back to 1x, so I've got the wide lens, it's gone automatically back up to 240 FPS. This auto switch feature could definitely be used for another feature I'll talk about towards the end of the video. And there's also been an update which improves the joystick. So before, what you could do is you could move this left, right, up and down. And in terms of different angles with the joystick, that was it. But now they've added the 45-degree option. So now you can tilt diagonally up, diagonally down, and get these really good, smooth cinematic shots. I would recommend going into your settings, and if you click on the bottom left hand corner where it says joystick speed, I would say set that gimbal speed to 1 or 2, depending on what kind of like cinematic mode you're going for. Anything higher than that, like speed 3 and 4, when using that joystick, it's really abrupt. So you want to slow it down so you've got these really nice smooth shots. It's great to see that has also been added with this firmware update. Now the Pocket 4P can take some fantastic photos, and how I edit my photos, I use Luminar, today's sponsor. They make it so easy to edit all of your photos with sliders. You don't need much knowledge to actually get fantastic results. They've got loads of different tools built in. So look at this drone shot here. I can use Enhance AI slider, which is going to automatically adjust the exposure, the saturation, the contrast, the sharpening, all in one slider. I can then move to the water enhancer and I can increase this and just look at the difference it makes to this photo. Gives it so much more pop. Looks fantastic. Just look at the before and the after, and that's in 2 sliders. This was taken on the Pocket 4P. I can use that Enhance AI slider again, but the sky's looking a bit flat, so I can use one of the built-in sky replacement tools like this to get a really cool, moody look to this Pocket 4P photo. It's outstanding the amount of tools you have, like bokeh AI. You can change the depth of field in your photos, and there's going to be more tools added in the full update. You're going to be allowed to edit your photos via the web. There's going to be printing options, atmospheres getting an update, crop AI is going to be improved, there's going to be more improved Enhance AI features. It's available on Mac, Windows, iPhone, Android, Apple Vision Pro, and if you use discount code DMPRO10, you're going to get 10% off these plans as well. Go and check it out. I highly recommend it. And DJI have also updated their conversion LUTs that you get for the DJI Pocket 4P, and these are completely free. So when you're filming in D-Log or D-Log 2, you get this really flat colour. It looks terrible. You then have to add a conversion LUT or your own LUTs to this to make it look fantastic. So you can get these free ones from the DJI website. These aren't creative LUTs, so they're just going to be a standard conversion LUT. If you want to pick up some creative LUTs, I have my own for the DJI Pocket 4P, and these work with the D-Log and the D-Log 2 color profile and give you loads of different creative styles. These are fantastic. They're available on my website. I'll link them at the top of the description if you want to go and check those out. But if you just simply want the conversion LUTs from DJI, how do you get these? So if you just Google search DJI Download Center, and then you want to select the Osmo series and the Pocket 4P. If you don't see this, you're probably in the United States. You want to click on region at the top and switch that to say United Kingdom. And now do that again and you'll see these available. If you go to that list at the top, you'll see where it says version 2. These are the latest cube files. You can download them to convert your D-Log and D-Log 2 footage. Now, the good old frame tap. So I had quite a bit to say of this in my initial review. It has got slightly better, and thanks a lot to a lot of people who actually commented or messaged me about this, because with either with this firmware update or the previous one, you can now do step zoom. Now, when I was testing this camera like months ago, one of the most annoying things about it was when using this frame tap, you couldn't just simply switch from 1 times to 3 times to 6 times on here. You had to push up on this joystick and then it would go like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and trying to get it to land on 3 times or 6 times was incredibly difficult. So now on the side of it where you've got that power button, if you click that power button once, it will switch automatically to 3 times. So now we have that step zoom much better. Click it again, it will go back to 1 times. If we double click on it, it will switch to 6 times. Double click again, back to 3 times. So we have this option now to step zoom from 1 times to 3 times to 6. You can't get to 12 times by this method. If you like triple tap or anything, it doesn't do anything. And if you push and hold, you're just going to turn this off. Actual frame tap itself, aside from that, is still incredibly limited. We can't change the frame rate, so we're just stuck in whatever frame rate you actually selected on the camera. So you then have to go back to the camera to change this. You can't switch from, say, normal to D-Log to D-Log 2. You have to go back to that camera. So at the moment, it still is very much so a monitor with some added features. The most feature I'm using from this is start and stop recording, and now switching from 1 time to 3 times to 6. Everything else, you can't really do much. You can change from video to photo, but you can't change the aspect ratio. So I do hope for a lot more features on this. However, if you're using it on, say, a car like I've got here, and you want to do car rollers or filming yourself when you're vlogging, just being able to use this little monitor and get it to switch from 1 time to 3 times is incredibly useful. So I'd still do recommend, if you was going to pick this Pocket 4P up, if you get the combo that comes with this, then it is well worth it. And I just hope there's going to be more firmware for this coming soon. So some great features added to the Pocket 4P. It isn't perfect yet. I do hope for some more features. The most annoying one for me when I've been using this is, say you're using the new D-Log 2 color profile, so the most dynamic range. We don't have auto ISO in there, so that's another thing that we still need to get. But most frustratingly is because that is locked to 1 times, there is no fast way of going to 3 times. What you have to do is go back to that side menu. You have to then switch back to D-Log, click the tick button, and now we have the option to go to 3 times. By then, if you're filming something or somebody, you might have missed a shot. It's incredibly slow. But you can set this up as custom profiles, which is going to be the fastest way of switching from D-Log 2 to D-Log. So if you go to D-Log 2 set that up with all the settings that you want to use, and then you want to swipe down and click on the top left hand corner. This is where it enables you to add a custom C1 profile, and that is going to be your D-Log2. So if you select C1, and now what you want to do is go back to that main screen and switch to D-Log. Now put in all the settings you want saved for D-Log, including like what frame rate you want to use. Swipe down and then click and save this to C2. Once you've done that, now on that main settings menu, you want to select the custom button, click single press, and then if you scroll down there about halfway, it says switch from C1 to C2. So when I press this custom button now, it switches from D-Log2 to D-Log, so I can quickly switch to that 3x zoom. Click again and I'm back into D-Log2. So that at the moment is the fastest way. I would like a setting that you can toggle on in the settings where you're in D-Log2, you're filming, and then you can press 3 times and it will automatically switch to D-Log. Just like we have now on that slow motion setting from before. Why can't we have that from D-Log2 to D-Log? So I hope you liked that video. Good firmware update for the Pocket 4P. I do have a full settings video if you just pick this up, how to get this set up to get the best quality out of it. I'm going to put that at the end of this video as well. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new around here. Lots of new subscribers recently, and I've got a load more videos coming really soon. And if you enjoyed any part of this video, just hitting that like button gets this video to more places, completely free to do, and I highly appreciate it. And if you want to watch that settings video from me, I'm going to put it up here. I'll see you on the next one.